Good.
Hi, I'm Lachelle Atkins, also known as America's Supermom, and I am excited about Go Shop America. This is an opportunity for small business owners to be able to feature their products on TV. So if you are looking for affordable way to distribute your products, and if you're a consumer looking to buy the hottest trends, then I tell you to follow us at Go Shop America. Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are live, please put in the chat where you're joining us from. How's everything going? Happy New Year. I think it's been a minute since we have actually broadcast live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So, want to thank everybody for joining us today. This is a Let's Talk About It conversation on Get Branded, Women
Mhm.
with Vision. Women's History Month is next month, and this month currently is Black History Month. So we are excited about finding ways that we can expand our message to different audiences and different women all over the world. So we're
Mhm.
excited for you to join us today, and we're going to be talking about networking, right? Networking, building content, because this week is International Networking Week. And
Yes.
so for me, I believe that any place is an opportunity to network. For
Mhm.
me, having going live is an event, whether you are in person with somebody or not. So you can always communicate in the chat. You can leave your contact information. If you have any links for events, it's just a great opportunity to share who you are in the world. And I think a lot of times we shy away from that. We don't want to sound salesy, or we're just afraid how people are going to take the message that we're sharing. But we are all about connections and about collaboration. So, really excited for you to join us today. So, we're going to start out quickly with some intros, and we're here to talk about getting branded. So, that really is the topic for today. But I'm Lachelle, also known as America's Supermom. I'm the mother of 15 children. I got to get that out first because people, I live with them all the time, but other people are like, "Oh my gosh, 15, that's just crazy." But yeah, so I have 15 children, 9 of them still live at home, but I'm a mental health strategist, and I just came up with that term on my own because what I do is I work with executive women to help them align their brand with their true identity, not the
Mhm.
identity where they're people pleasing, can't tell people no, afraid of rejection,
Come on.
just really being able to accept who they are and all the greatness that they can provide in the world and shine in
Mhm.
the media. So I'm excited to be here today with my co-host Anita. I'm going to yield the mic to you.
Well, I hope you can hear me because I'm over here doing all kind of things with this technology, honey. You know, I got knocked off right before we got on live. So look, we already know the show goes on, the train keeps moving, and
Mhm.
we build it as we flying, right?
Absolutely.
Well, yes, I am so excited to be here with you. As always, Lachelle. And as you said, I am Anita Newson, and I'm also known as Anita in the Biz Coach. And what I really have a passion for is helping women entrepreneurs, solo entrepreneurs, nonprofits, individuals to have a voice for their vision and a mouth for their mission. And some of the ways I go about doing that is helping them be more visible, right? That's on, TV, magazines, telling their stories in books, having networking events and hosting events like we do and like we're going to be talking about today. And that's just some of the ways that I love to connect with people and make sure they are letting themselves be visible. Because, like you said, so many times we take the back burner, right?
Mhm.
We do all these amazing things, but then we don't want to tell nobody about it. I mean, where we do that at, right? So we have got to, prepare and give more opportunities and provide more platforms, places, and spaces for people, especially women, which is our passion, to do that. So just glad to be here with you today.
I'm excited, and so, going live or having a live in-person event is a great way to connect with your audience.
Yes.
There are so many different ways. This is just a couple of them. that we
Right.
can actually connect. And I think we get on these social media platforms, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and the list goes on.
Right.
And we neglect to actually build relationships,
Mm.
to communicate with people in the direct messages. I found that I have grown my audience so much simply from communicating with people. So if they leave
Correct.
a comment, sending them a direct message. Now you can communicate on the actual thread. I'm not going to discourage you from that. But if you really want to take that conversation deeper and build a relationship, it could be a simple thing as suggesting to get on a Zoom call. Hey, I
Yeah.
enjoyed your comment. Can we talk about this for about 15 minutes on Zoom?
Yeah.
These great opportunities where it's a warm lead for you. These are people that are engaging on your content. So I just thought I would add that for people who feel like, well, I can't go in person. This event is in Georgia and I live in Colorado. I just can't make So these
Yeah.
are ways that we can leverage the engagement that we already have in a way that's going to work for us. So for people who are on the fence, Anita, about coming to an event in person, what would you tell them about the benefits of being in person for an event?
Well, I mean, you said it. It's makes it so much more personable. You know, we have relied so much in these last few years when social media came out, right?
Mhm.
And now it's just like dominant. It's like our kids are even, more even in school, AI and using all these technology and tools and stuff. They don't learn cursive writing anymore. They don't do all of these things that we learned as children, I'll say, and had more of a connection, in person. We used to have to go to the library. We didn't have Google, okay? So we got to meet people. We got to talk to the librarian. So I feel like in-person events brings a different type of dynamic when you're talking about connecting. It makes me think about one of the people that was on our clubhouse the other day, and he was talking about his business in, being having human connection. There is nothing like having human connection, and we substituted with things like this, online events, being able to reach a broader audience. But once you reach that broader audience, you want to start narrowing it down to build that relationship, like you were talking about, because that's what it's all about. People don't want to know anything you have to know, what you got to say, unless they what those things you always talk about, know, like, and trust, right? They've got to know you. So that means building that relationship. They want to be able to trust you once they build that relationship. And then, they're more willing to do business with you, collaborations, things of that nature, once you build that groundwork of relationship. And I think so often now it's taken out of a lot of things that, people do. Um, I'm a part of, I'm telling my business now. I'm a part of some Christian single groups on Facebook, right? And so this girl the other day, she created this whole cute little AI image of herself in what she did, in her job. And she put it, she was like, so guess what I do? It was a real little fun game we were doing. And so I did mine. I guess I used the wrong picture, but it had me in this, dressing because it was during my banquet at my class reunion. But it put me like at a computer. It had computers around me. I had sticky notes. I had a pen. I had a headset on my head. I was like, yeah, that looks like me. All this stuff going on around me. And so what I ended up doing, she's an author. And I was like, wow, I'm an author too. Let's connect. So we got in each other's DMs. So it's like you said, making that personal connection with folks that you feel like you could, you have something in common with, or even if you don't, and then maybe find out that you do later on when you do that personal connection, right? So I hope that's kind of answered that question a little bit.
I love it because I think, we always want to build and scale our brand, and we neglect to have those opportunities to do it in real time. I feel that when I'm with someone in person, you're able to really have a lot of connection with them immediately. And if you're really inspired, you can take some actual action at that point, right? So, if you're at a live an event and you're already with the person, you can get on their schedule or plan something, a working meeting or something when you've already met them. And a lot of that initial tension or angst or anxiety is kind of out the window because you've already connected. And I think, one of the things that I appreciate about our events are that, they are really challenging you to get out of your comfort zone. And when you do it with a group, it just really has the impact that, you can do anything, right? You have people who are there that are supporting you, all different experience levels. And so you're doing this in real time. And, people miss the element of co creation. So when you're
Mhm.
collaborating, yes, we're coming together on this project, but a result of collaboration is co-creation where you
Mhm.
get inspired, you're brainstorming, and you do something and create it in real time with other people. And so that's the thing that has really been a blessing for me in really being able to grow my brand, and the message that I have, because people are like, oh my gosh, this message, this will be great with my sorority,
Yeah.
hearing about mental wellness, or
Yes.
for my coworkers, we get together on the weekends and have bonding sessions, but we would love to have you speak. So I think a lot of people miss out on that by
Mhm.
simply saying no to opportunities that they can grow and expand. Now let's talk about the investment portion because I know I've had, when I was in my early journey, my calendar was full of networking events online, in person, all the stuff being free. And, when I look back in that part of my journey, it was a lot of information that I was consuming, but not a
Mhm.
lot of time to implement the things that I was learning. So, when you have events, how do you determine the price point or the level of investment? What would you say to that? Why are not some of these events free? What is the reason for the investment?
Well, I feel like once you put value into something, you will commit to it more, right?
Mhm.
Like you said, when I've gone to different free things, wonderful. Not to say it wasn't wonderful. I've offered free stuff. I still do it sometimes, often now, you know. But the thing is, people don't commit when it's just something given to them. It makes it too easy. They may show up, they may not. They don't put the time, into it that takes. To me, one of the most valuable things I have is my time and the people I'm connected with. Those are the things that I value more than anything, right? So if you don't put a value on things, and we're not saying price tags, that's the main thing here. No, it's not. But what we're saying is once you put a value on something, then you will take more, care of that thing. You'll implement more into it. You'll invest, like you said, invest yourself more into something that you have put some dollars on versus something maybe I just, went to for free or what have you. So I think the other thing when you're looking at, pricing and stuff like that, how do you, find a price range or something like that? I think you have to look at the time that you spent creating that thing. I used to have a coach that would tell us you used to teach us, and she teaches us how to monetize ourselves, our experience, our background, our education, right? We got degrees. And not to say that's all important, all that, but I'm just saying, you don't pay for some degrees. You have put the time in different jobs. You've been on different platforms and all these things. So you have to evaluate, what time did you put in creating this event or this course or this book or whatever. And then kind of, look at what does that time look like in dollars. And then, what would, sometimes I'll be like, well, what would I be willing to pay for something like this? If I know I'm getting all these things, and that's something I've been taught for a long time too, is, you want to give, you don't want to overgive, but you want to give from a place of, you want people to grow, you want to help people, right? And so when you give more than what people expect, they don't mind giving up, go in their pocket. They're like, what? I'm getting all of this for this. It costs $100 just to get your face done. Hello. People don't realize it takes a lot. So yeah, I'm going over my time. But yeah, that's what I would say.
I
Well,
love
what do you
that.
think? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that is so important because, one of the things, I can't make it without God. 15 kids, I'm
Mm.
telling you, I just would be somewhere crazy, which
Ooh,
I've
yeah,
been
yeah.
that way before too. But I would say, I believe in reaping and sowing. And
Uh-huh.
if you don't sow anything, you're not going to reap anything. And I think,
Come on.
I was in this mindset of thinking, oh my gosh, I just want to help everybody. I just feel like this message is so
Mhm.
important. It can benefit so many people. And it was falling flat, right? Because
Wow.
if people are not investing anything, if it's not costing them anything, it doesn't feel the same. There's no level of commitment over
Mm.
something that doesn't cost you anything. I think even if you pay $1 for something, it's crazy, right? You just like, hey, I paid for this and this isn't working, right?
Right.
I love it when my kids, I empower them to shop on their own. And so they used to go to Dollar Tree all the time. So they get mad after a couple times of playing with a doll that it broke. And I said, well, you get what you pay for. You know what I mean? You
Wow.
pay in a
That's
dollar.
true.
You can only expect $1 worth of,
Well,
this
okay.
thing to last
Value.
for a couple of
Mm.
things that you would play with it. But my point with that is that, if we are really building a real brand that we want for success, for me, it's about legacy and something sustainable for generations. I'm now a grandmother.
Yes.
And so I feel like I don't want to do the work 2 and 3 times over. I want to do it once and for it to last. And
That's
so if
it.
that is, decreasing your circle to get with the right people, or
Mm.
really taking ownership of your time and not spending it just on anything, right, that's not going to give you a return. Now, I'm not saying that everything is about money, but I feel like when people are really looking to scale and grow their brand, there are just some investments that you have to make. You can't have a business without any income, right?
Come
Is
on.
Oh, I think we just feel like, yes, giving is good, but you can determine what is that going to look like. For me, I pay tithes, so that's like
That's
10%,
right.
right?
That's right.
So you can decide in your business, maybe there is a portion that you're giving away, but how
Mm.
much of a percentage, and finding ways that you can manage that.
Yes, girl. Look, I don't know if y'all can hear my dog. I'm trying to text my sons. Can y'all come down here and see about this dog? I done told y'all I ain't let her out yet. I done forgot about her. And she hear me talking. She like, oh, mama, I got to use the bathroom. Girl, so yeah, so look, we definitely wanted to share. I don't know if you're gonna be able to share that video or not. If not, we'll share it another time.
Yes.
But the event that we have coming up again, we're gonna be celebrating Women's History Month. And the way we love doing that is providing a place and a space for women to connect, to collaborate, to learn, and to grow. And hey, we're going to be having some fun too, creating content. They're going to get their faces done. They're going to get some professional headshots done. We're going to be doing some behind the scenes shots, red carpet interviews like we did last year. We had an awesome time. I had a fun time. So I know I've been talking to some of the ladies from last year, hoping they could come back. And we have some pictures of them in our background here. We had Darlene Lyons, we had Jackie Jackson, Jacqueline Jackson. There were some awesome women that have doing some awesome things in the community with their businesses and helping other folks, And then we had Michelle Clarkson, a friend of yours. And look, she said she was just going to come to support for it. And look what happened. She done blowed up. So we're excited about our event next month. It's March the 7th in Griffin, Georgia. We're going to be actually partnering with Whole Life Healing Center. We're looking at doing some interviews with Mia Hand that runs that, and the 1216 Event Center down there, as well as Kim Schooler. We're looking at doing an interview with her as well. She was one of our sponsors and guest speakers last year. So one of her goals this year is to support domestic violence survivors, because the things that they do with finances and teaching women how to make money work for them, that is one of their target audiences. So I think it's a great alignment that it just so happens that we're going to be partnering with Whole Life Healing Center. And that's one of the things that Kim and her brand will be supporting this year. So I'm excited about that.
Well, I'm excited too. And so the date again is March 7th, and the event is from 10 to 2 in Griffin, Georgia. And we have a link up here that you can get all the information. Now, how can they support if they're not able to come in person? What are some ideas that come to mind for you, Anita?
They can share the link. They may have some friends or colleagues or family that may be, in our area that would like to come. So we would love for people to share our link and our information so others can connect with us, and hopefully attend the event. We have other events that we have virtually as well. Sunday at 6 p.m., we have our Get Branded Network, and we have a community of people that we pull together on a bi-monthly basis, where we give you a space and a place to promote, to be able to glean from each other, to be able to connect, collaborate, and have some fun too. And we'll be talking about different things about branding as well. So, and then also sponsorship. Look, we're looking for sponsors as well. We want to be able to open the doors for as many women. We like it to be intimate now, but we want anyone that attends to be able to do that. And so we are actually sponsoring one of the domestic violence survivors, and we're looking forward to that. But, sponsorships go a long way. So if you can get whatever you give, believe me, it would be very much appreciated and used towards helping these women make a difference in their communities and beyond. So those are some of the things that come up to me. Did I miss anything, Michelle?
No, I think you did great. And I want to say that we do plan to have a few more live broadcasts.
Yes.
So if you want to join us as a panelist related to some of these topics, that we'll be covering, dealing with visibility and how to extend your brand through collaboration or around domestic violence. We would love for you to be a part of our panel. So just reach out to us. We would love to have you be a guest on one of our events that we have leading up to that event. So, March will be here before you know it. It's like you blink your eyes, and I can't believe that we are quickly approaching spring. I mean, it's just like, what in the world? And I've got 1,000 things in the background going on, from a wedding to a new grandbaby coming and a graduation from high school. So, and my daughter is graduating from middle school, so she's going to be going to high school next year. So it's just a lot happening, y'all. And I know that life is busy for everybody, but I do want to say that it's important to be intentional, really thinking about, who are the people that you can align with that can help you to move forward with your goals. I cannot believe that we're already in February, and there's still lots of projects that I'm a part of that will be launching throughout this year. But time doesn't stand still for anybody. So now is the time that I would encourage you to get in community, find a level that's good for you, whether it's a monetization level or a time invested level, or financially, just getting that accountability, because the months, the days, the hours go by so quickly. And when you have community, you're able to accomplish so much more. I mean, that is just something I've learned with, there's just always something in my household. We have a random trip that just came up for my son on Saturday. So we had to rent a van. uh, coming up tomorrow because he's in the regionals for wrestling.
That's
So we didn't get
right.
any
Yeah.
notice outside of last week. So it's like everybody's got to juggle their calendar and do what they got to do for us to show support. But life is not standing still, it's moving forward. So I encourage you guys to find someone, find events, do those things. They're going to move the needle for you because 2027 is going to be here before you know it. So let's do the groundwork now to be ready for that time. So any final thoughts you want to share, Anita?
I just want folks to know that, everything, that God has called you to do at this point in time in your life, it's time to do it. My word for this year is manifest. Over the years, I've had different words, intentional, embrace, those kind of things. But now all those things are, coming together now, and it's time to have them to manifest. So I speak that over everyone too. Those things that God has called you to, those things that has been in your heart that you've been wanting to do, and you just didn't quite know how to do it. You didn't quite, felt like you were ready or had things in place to do it. Look, it's your time to manifest. God has called you for such a time as this. So I say, go forth, go make the difference in the world that God has called you to do. So that's it. That's all. Look, let's do it.
All right. So anybody who wants to collaborate, join us. Feel free to reach out to us. Put any of your insights in the chat. We will be going back and looking over the chat. So many changes with StreamYard. I can't see if people are commenting or what, but I do see some likes and some people watching. So we want to thank you for supporting us, and put your contact information in the chat so we can reach out and formally give you gratitude and appreciation for supporting us. So everybody, remember, this is Love Month. Take some time to love on yourself so that you can love others. Bye for now.
Bye. See you later.